Good evening, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We have gathered here tonight to celebrate the phenomenal success by women in sport. I am thrilled that we have not allowed the pandemic restrictions to stop us from coming together to continue making history. I feel honored to yet again be given this occasion to share some important thoughts with you. Thanks to initiatives like gsport, we have the amazing opportunity to challenge the current status quo of representation of women in sport and to celebrate and recognize all of you. The journey to success requires one to invest in partnerships, as no one is as strong as everyone. Tonight, I would like to bring your attention to my 3 S's that I believe are the key ingredients for success in the world of women's sport. They are sponsorship, supporters, and skill. Let's double click on sponsorship. Sponsoring professional women sporting teams are one of the fastest ways to shift the emphasis and shatter the many barriers sportswomen are facing in 2020. Although there have been positive shifts in global and local trends towards sponsoring professional women and teams, there is still long to go. The commercial disparity between male and female sports is still enormous, despite the fact that many cases female athletes exhibit more prowess. Currently, only 0.5% of total commercial investments in sport goes into women's sport, whilst men's sport receive 61.1% and mixed sport get about 38%. Last year, female athletes got 4% of the world's sports media coverage. That means men got 96% of the share. Let's think about that for a second. As a direct consequence, women still receive only a tiny part of worldwide sponsorship deals. One thing that rings so true is that transformation will grow when publicity grows. That is why sports coverage is hugely powerful in shaping norms and stereotypes about gender. Media has the ability to challenge these norms, promoting a balanced coverage of men and women's sport and a fair portrayal of sports people, irrespective of gender. When we look at the gender pay gap, we are faced with even more troubling statistics. Banyana players earn 10 times less than Bafana players on match bonuses, according to former Minister of Sport Nontokozo Madonsela. Banyana players received 5,000 Rand match bonus on an official match win, whilst Bafana players receive as much as 60,000 Rand for a win. Another piece of data comes from Forbes Africa. They reported that resources are still mostly channeled to men's sport in South Africa. I quote, "The game is rigged from the beginning. Women are playing a game of snakes with no ladders, and men are playing a game of ladders with no snakes." Even with the sponsorship, with our sponsorship, our Momentum Proteas women earn about 8 times less than their male counterparts. If you combine the earnings of the top 10 highest paid female athletes, the amount is still less than what their top earning male athletes get paid. For example, Naomi Osaka, who is an incredible tennis player, only comes up at number 21 on the Forbes Top 100 highest paid athletes in 2020. Women being underpaid in sport means that the industry will continue to attract fewer talented professional sportswomen who, out of necessity, would rather earn a living in an office job and play sport on the side. If this gender bias is not addressed, it looks like a cycle will continue. Women in sports deserve better. Sponsoring of women in sports needs to keep rising it is going to become even more relevant for South African brands as the men's sponsorship landscape has become extremely cluttered. Mark my words. You don't want to be kicking yourself in 5 years' time because you missed the boat. Jump on board. As a brand committed to supporting women to own their success, Momentum has contributed to the professional advancement of women cricketers at the highest level over the past 7 years. Our sponsorship has resulted in more women cricketers becoming contracted as professional players on a global field. I am challenging the media and other brands to take the leap to invest in and sponsor these amazing professional sportswomen. As I was preparing for tonight, I was thinking about how proud my mom is of me and all the amazing people who support my journey, and how lucky I am to be surrounded by such love and joy. But that isn't the case with everyone. That is why I want to bring your attention to my next S, talking to the power of supporters and the important role that they play on one's journey to success. I had a conversation with a sportswoman recently, and I wanted to share it with all of you so that we can shift our mindsets around the concept of success. If this conversation was to be a title of a book, I would call it, How Do I Get My Mother to See Me Differently? This professional female soccer player, young lady, said to me, I'm struggling with my mom. In my family, a woman playing a male sport is automatically labeled as being too masculine. My mother, she said, sees me as walking away from achieving success because of these stereotypes. Isn't that a pity? Although this amazing, incredible young soccer player is so successful and is killing it in her field, she is facing an uphill battle when it comes to confidence and standing up for herself. On top of that, she told me that she labels herself as an introvert, which makes it even harder for her to get the recognition she deserves. She is not the only one who has to navigate the many social stereotypes that are against women. It is time that we flip the narrative. When they say you are too strong, they actually mean you're unstoppable. When they say you are too independent, they actually mean, sister, you've got your plan together. When they say you are too successful, they mean your victories are seen from miles away. When they say you are too passionate, they actually mean you kick ass and your skill cannot be ignored. And I say, too bad. We need to collectively break down these barriers, as they really do impact our success. It starts at a very young age, and that's why I want to shift your focus to the role that our teachers, coaches, and coaches play, because let's face it, that is where our habits are formed. Teachers need to allow girls to play any sport from a young age. I have heard from many young girls that used to love the rough and tumble activities, but they would always get pushed to the side because they are girls. Overall, girls receive less encouragement from family members and teachers to participate in typical male sports due to these ridiculous stereotypes. There is no sporting code that is unattainable by girls. But there is the other side of the spectrum. Let's learn, for example, from schools like Waldorf, where mixed sporting activities are norm. I remember, as a parent, being at the field, seeing my boys play with a 13-year-old girl in their soccer team. I had to pinch myself, as this was the first time I had seen this. I was very proud. These stereotypes stick and have a far-reaching consequence. This brings me to a quote by a woman I adore, Maya Angelou. She says, "Do the best you can until you know better. When you know better, do better. That's why I believe we need to be conscious of how we treat and speak to ourselves and each other by doing better. We need to prove everyone wrong. Allow me to mention a few examples in no particular order of amazing South African sportswomen who are proudly owning their success despite all the odds. The first lady to mention is Bongiwe Msomi, South African netball captain. She led the Proteas to the World Cup semi-finals in England in 2019. Bongiwe often calls out that support from all fronts is an integral part of her success and has driven us to becoming one of the top 4 ranked teams in the world. The support we give each other, the support we receive from the broader team and from our fans drives us forward, she said. The second lady to mention is Kayleen Corbett, the 20-year-old breaststroke specialist, has made a significant contribution to the improved standards of South African women's swimming. Tatiana Schumacher. Last year, she was responsible for one of the most significant breakthroughs in South African women's sport when she won a silver medal in the 200-meter breaststroke during the World Championships in Korea. It was the first time that a local swimmer medaled at a world long course championship, 50 meters. To top it all, she also won 2 gold medals at the Tokyo World Cup for 100 meters and 200 meters breaststroke. Then we've got Janine van Wyk. She is the footballer who captained the South African women's national team. She is the most kept national team player of any gender after she had been called up to the women's soccer team, Banyana Banyana, for more than 150 times. Then Sarah Khumalo, our Momentum Multiply ambassador, the first black woman to conquer Everest last year, said it took her a while to come to terms with their achievement, as women are not really taught how to celebrate their successes. This needs to change, and it starts at home and at school, which brings me to my last S, skill. It has been proven that girls who play team sport are more likely to graduate from university, find a job, be employed in male-dominated industries. There's even a direct link between playing sport in high school and earning a bigger salary as a grown-up. Learning to own victory, survive defeat in sport is good training for owning triumphs, surviving setbacks at work. Playing sports makes girls more confident and teaches them determination. It can give them the courage to take risks and ask for more from ourselves and for others. But it's the skills we've learned through sport, like dedication, self-discipline, focus, leadership, teamwork, assertiveness, that makes an impact far beyond the playing field. This formula for success is what gets me excited, and I hope it gets each and every one of you excited too. It takes a village to drive change. In closing, I would like to read one of my favorite poems from a gentleman called John Greenleaf Whittier. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you are trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't quit. Life is strange with its twists and turns. as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a failure comes about, when she might have won had she stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Success is failure turned inside out. The silver tint of the clouds of doubt, and you can never tell just how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when you are hardest hit. It's when things seem worst that you must not quit. For all those sad words, spoken or written, the saddest are these: it might have been. So tonight and every night, let's support each other to rise and not quit. We have the power to shift the momentum in our favor. And to all of you fearless women here tonight, you have earned the right to own your success. Thank you.